kind of names
Would you say his love for his car is platonic?
It's a good question.
Is it requited? Does his car love him?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Is Cam a jealous man? Would he be upset if anyone else were to drive his car?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, he's possessive.
All right. All right, sounds good. We might as well go on to the voice.
All right, so I'll be playing the voice, which is described as, who knows, it's wearing a full hood and cloak and may or may not also be a leper, has a deep, compelling voice, which is where the name comes from. And that's all it calls itself because that's all everyone calls it. It has followers, which is described as a cult by everyone else. They are psychics who love to party. They're always on drugs, and they may also be lepers because they're all diseased.
Okay, couple of questions about that.
All right.
Do they, this disease that they all have, does the voice have it too?
Yes.
Did they get it from the voice, or is this just a thing?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
It's a thing that's going around. Some of the people who join the cult have it when they join, and some of them just contract it from being around the contagious members.
Is there anybody in the weird little society that we're going to be setting up who has this disease and is not in your cult?
Yes.
Okay. Let's see then. Where do they get their drugs?
Probably wherever they can find them. I imagine that there's somebody in the areas that they travel through who can either make them for them or provide them from some stash. And when the drugs dry up, they move on.
So it sounds okay. So it sounds like you're saying the areas that they travel to, they're a fairly nomadic cult.
Yeah.
Okay. What are they doing here?
This is just the latest place that they've heard that has what they need, so here they are.
All right. And what they need is, I'm assuming you meet their drugs.
Yeah, so they're listed as having wants. I don't know if that affects the story or characterization at all.
It does. That's where
it does. They're described as being desperate and diseased. Mm-hmm. So I imagine that they go to places to meet the needs of their desperation, and to either, I don't think that they're interested in curing the disease so much as finding other people who have it and bringing them into the cult.
Ah, okay. So they're here recruiting and they're here shopping.
Sure. I mean, everywhere they go, they want to recruit. It's a cult.
Okay.
Even if it's very small, it's described as about 20 people.
Do they recruit people who don't have the disease?
Yes. I mean, if somebody loves drugs and partying enough and has the right type of psychic attunement, I mean, everyone is welcome to join, but they probably will contract that disease sooner or later.
What does this disease do to a person? And what's it called?
Oh man, I really just want to make it straight up leprosy.
Okay, well, we can do that. That's fair.
I don't think this needs to be too complicated.
Okay. Alright, so let me write that down. Hocus's gang, cult, has leprosy. Alright. That sounds like a good place to be getting on with your guy. Now, have they been here for a while, or I mean, I'm assuming that they have because
they've been here long enough to be familiar with the area, so at least a few months.
Okay. Yeah,
and it sounds like it's a large enough holding that they would be able to be there for that amount of time without running dry.
Yeah, because we're going to get into some history pretty soon, and you're going to have to be here long enough to have some history with somebody. But a few months is fine for that. Yeah, I can't think of anything else I want to know about these weirdos.
No, wait, hold on.
Yeah, hey, two of these guys are not weird at all.
No, I'm talking specifically about your cult.
Oh.
Oh, okay, those weirdos.
I guess would be. Well, the other thing was I was going to ask what kind of hold the voice has over them. Like, is it a religious thing? Do they believe? Do they revere the voice?
I think it's a combination.
Or is it just a matter of the voice supplies their drugs?
I think it's a combination of supply and also some sort of religious compulsion.
Mm-hmm.
There is something weird and psychic going on with this cult. It seems like, and that might be part of it.
Okay. All right then. Let's move on to the history thing. So everyone has history with every other player's character.
Okay.
It doesn't say, like, history is not how long you've known them or how much you like them. It just means how well you know them. If you can have negative history with somebody if you really don't know them well at all and you can't predict what they're going to do. History is asymmetrical, so like you could know somebody better than they know you quite easily. Every character has their own rules for setting history. I think those are going to be in your playbooks.
Yeah, it's right under stats and moves.
Yep. So let's just go around Brickroad first.
Everybody gets history +1. I put myself out in the public view.
All right.
All right. So everyone marks HX +1 to Domino.
Where do we mark this?
There's an HX section.
And the reason why is everyone knows her.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
But not. I guess I'm reading this as nobody knows me that well.
Okay, everyone knows about her then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody's at history
All right.
1. Or +1, rather.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's see here.
Okay, and then it says also on others' turns. You just want to go from left to right on the spreadsheet so that I'd be next.
Yeah, you're next.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all it says
Yep.
for me.
Okay, so choose the character whose soul you've seen. Oh, okay, so it says just one. Or else whatever number they tell you, give it +1 and write it their name. You're a good and quick judge of others, so you don't actually have to answer any questions for me. So I've got +2 for you then.
Okay.
Actually, you know what? No, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put the +3. You're the character whose soul I've seen.
All right.
Mine says
When
pick
did-
the character that trusts the least and put +3. I did that for the voice. I don't trust a bunch of druggy leper religious crazy
All right.
heads.
What was the moment that caused you to distrust the voice? What did you see happen?
That's it. Just the drugs, the leprosy, the religious fanaticism.
I imagine that since this is like a roving party of drugged out cultists, probably everyone in town knows who they are.
Yeah. Okay.
Domino is very straight-laced, buckled down, tight-lipped, and here's this cult come into town looking for drugs, starting up parties, making noise, causing chaos. So she made it a point to look into him and where he's come from, and that's where that +3 came from.
Okay. What did you see the voice when you looked into Domino's soul? What happened there?
Oh, that's a good question. I imagine that there's been some sort of run-in between the voice and Domino, whether or not she knows about it. Maybe he's tried to recruit her, but she's obviously not weird enough to go for it.
Now I'm hearing conflicting things from you, the voice.
Yeah.
Are you a he or an it?
It for right now.
Okay. All right. Well,
We can
because-
determine that question later, probably.
Okay. All right. Let's see. So we've done your move.
Yeah.
let's go on.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
if it's mine, any of them who are your followers, neither of these guys would be my followers. So your history with me is 0 unless you say otherwise.
Well, yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's go to Cam then.
I've got two here. I can pick one, or I can pick both.
Okay.
If I pick both, can I give one to each of them?
Yeah.
All right.
Or you can give both to the same. Doesn't
I
matter.
can give both to the same person.
Mm-hmm.
Well, all right. So for the voice, I think I gotta go with one of them. Once got you out of some serious shit.
Okay.
All right. Tell us about that.
No, you know what? No, actually, I'm gonna give that to Domino.
Oh,
Okay.
Okay.
Tell us about that then.
Wait, you got me out of serious shit, or I got you out of serious shit?
You got me out of serious shit.
Oh, that's simple. Tao sent you to retrieve a jalopy somewhere out in the wastelands, and immediately realized you were going to get into some major trouble, and then sent me, and suddenly heads began exploding all around you.
Which didn't phase me whatsoever.
So yeah, no, that we could just
we
could just put that down to both working for Tao.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe Tao made a mistake in sending him out without the proper armament or the proper bodyguards, realized it immediately, and instead of admitting the mistake, just offered me greater payment than usual if I would go bail him out, and I did.
And Cam didn't complain one bit. Like, most people would be like, hey, you almost sent me out to my death. WTF.
Mm-hmm.
Cam was just like, yeah, okay.
Okay.
So what does that give me for history for Cam?
+2.
+2. Alright.
And the reason I switched is because I think the other one has way more way more potential for the voice. One of them has been with you for days on the road.
Oh man!
So tell us about
this
that.
is a good one.
I want to hear about this one now.
Yeah, I want to hear about this too.
Well, obvious. I mean, do you know our warlord?
I don't think I do. I don't think I've ever been there.
I will tell you that he knows you.
Okay.
He knows what you're up to. Like, it's impossible to have a holding like this without knowing that there's a crazy party cult rolling through. Even if you've never met him, he knows who you are.
It's a crazy party cult? So, clearly you needed a chauffeur at some point.
Yeah, I imagine that I needed to get transport between one point or another for myself and probably at least some of the people following me.
Right.
Yeah. And my name came up. Like, yeah, he's a great driver. Someone of your stature clearly needs him. And yeah, no issues whatsoever with you and your crazy cult.
Alright. So is that a plus?
That's a +2.
It's a +2. Alright, so it's +3 because I'm a quick judge of character.
So, because Cam is ridiculously unassuming. He has no problem with either of us.
Good old party cult.
Yeah. And now, Cam, you also have the other thing.
The other thing?
Yeah. Well, on their turns, you aren't naturally inclined to get too close to many people. Whatever the number they give you, give it -1. So you're at +0 with Domino, and -1 with the voice. Somehow.
So it sounds like maybe I did something to piss you off while you were transporting me around.
What it is he's just spent all this time driving around, but he just shuts you out because he just can't. He just can't even, with all the leprosy in the back.
Oh yeah, so probably a lot of time was spent in that old ass car. Just the voice talking to you, trying to convince you to join this sweet party cult.
Yeah. So
and you were just having
you're like
none
making
of
a
it.
mess in my car, and it just kind of annoys me. Like,
He keeps finding like ears and lips and things.
Some fingers fell off in the back seat. You didn't find until later.
Yeah, the question I have now is, having spent days on the road with the voice, does Cam have leprosy now?
That was actually going to be my question.
I mean, it's up to you. You can say yes or no, but I'm curious.
No.
Okay, so
He
you
was
took the
concerned
proper
about it.
precautions
Yeah.
that most cult followers don't bother to take.
I imagine that you cleaned the inside of that car really good at the end of this.
He gets it pressure washed every weekend. Does the car have leprosy?
Oh my god, no. No.
You should
The
be
car has mechanical leprosy. It's a different problem.
You should be 0 with Domino.
It should be 0? I
Yeah.
thought I got a +1 from it.
Yeah, but then it's -1
And then
to
you got -1 from
everybody.
your thing.
Alright. Oh, yeah. Alright. On others' turns, you are naturally inclined to get too close to too many people. Yep.
Yeah.
Alright.
Alright, and so then we're going to go around one more time real quick. At the end, which is where we are, you find the character with the highest history on your sheet. You ask that player which of your stats is most interesting and highlight it.
So I asked the voice which of his stats is most interesting.
Yeah.
So which of your stats is the most interesting? The voice.
Oh no, you ask the voice which of your stats is most interesting.
Okay, well, which of my stats is most interesting then?
I think that your weirdness is the most interesting to me because you totally refuse to acknowledge or accept like anything in the world that exists that could be strange.
Okay. And then the MC will highlight another one of your stats. And just for fairness sake, because you've got a highlighted -1 stat, I'm gonna go ahead and highlight your cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
I want to see how cool. I want to see how cool the coolest person in Cool Town can be.
Listen, I'm from Cool World, all right. That's a great movie. I don't hear any.
No,
anybody
you're
say
from
otherwise.
a
No,
Apocalypse World.
you're not from. Don't be from Cool World.
Yeah.
That would be an entirely different tabletop game.
I would play it. I'm there. Let's go.
You know what? I'm actually thinking about it. I would also play that because that would be terrible.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to the voice. You have +3 of everybody, so it's your choice which one you want to have highlighted stat for you.
All right. I'm going to say Cam. You seem to know me. It seemed like you'd know me the best. Go ahead and highlight one.
You're weird, man. Like, it's gotta be weird.
Yeah.
What? How could it not be weird?
I'm gonna go ahead and highlight
So
your
fucking weird.
sharp, because I want to see
Sharp.
how smart like the leader of a crazy psychic party cult can be.
I was figuring that would be like a degree of perceptiveness.
Yeah, that's fair too. How with it are you? Is
Yeah.
what I want to see.
Well, Domino's at nil.
Domino knows
Voice is at
knows Cam
-1.
the best.
So, Tommy,
Yeah.
I'm gonna highlight his sharp, because knowing the depths of depravity that Tao is capable of, I want to know, like, what is the level of intelligence and perception in a man who works on like the outskirts of that organization? Does he really know what he's putting his feet in? So I'm highlighting his sharp.
And I am going to highlight his cool, because from everything I've heard about Cam, he seems like a cool cucumber, but I noticed that he is mechanically not chill at all. So I want to see how those two things interact. And what highlight does is whenever you make any move that rolls on that stat, you get 1 experience point.
Oh my god, I'm gonna get so many experience points.
Yeah, so you mark it. There's an experience circle system somewhere on the sheet, or there ought to be. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, it's the advancement. So you mark 1 advancement whenever you roll on a highlighted stat.
got it.
And then on the front of the playbook here, it has an improvement table. I guess every time we improve, we pick one of the pick one of the things off the table. Okay.
Yeah, and once you've chosen an improvement, you can never choose it again. So you can't just keep on advancing the same thing over and over.
Okay.
Where's this improvement chart?
It's on the front page of your playbook, right next
Okay.
underneath your history.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I just noticed that I have a special move that says if me and another character have sex, Nullify the
everyone-
other character's sex move.
Everyone has a sex move.
Oh. This is a new aspect of the game we have not discussed yet.
Oh yeah. Let's discuss that now then. Let's see. Where were we seeing that? Did you take that move?
It's on the left side of your introduction.
Oh yeah, so
Right under history.
that's every playbook special. Is if you and another character have sex, something happens.
Okay. Mine says
the
nullify the other character's sex move. Whatever it is, it just doesn't happen.
Let's see here. Mine is if you and another character have sex, you each hold one. Either of you can spend your hold at any time to help or interfere with the other, at a distance or despite any barriers.
That's weird, man.
Interesting. So you could,
Which,
you
in
could
a game where I was playing a sex cult, would be super awesome.
So you can not even be at the scene. You can be like distant and say, "Oh, I'm going to spend my hold to, religiously motivate or demotivate this person."
Yeah, I don't think that's going to be happening in this game, but we'll find out unless things get really weird.
If you and another character have sex, roll plus cool. On a 10+, it's cool, no big deal. On a 7 to 9, give them +1 to their history with you on their sheet, but give yourself a -1 to your history with them on yours. On a miss, you gotta go. Take -1 ongoing until you prove that it's not like they own you or nothing.
All right.
Does that count just between characters, or does that also count when Cam has sex with his car?
The car is not a character. The car is an NPC.
Hey, I will have you know.
And it only counts between PCs, as far as I know. It doesn't count for NPCs. If I remember reading the rule right.
From what my experience, it's very difficult to get players to have sex with each other. I tried for 36 weeks and only got half of my players laid. And always with NPCs. It was distressing a little bit.
Let's see. Give me 1 second here. Let me look up that because it just came up. So I want to make absolutely sure that it doesn't kick in for NPC sex.
Meanwhile, we have a button at the bottom of the character sheet that says add 1,000 more rows, and I've been like resisting not pressing it this whole time. I really want to add 1,000 more roles.
Yeah, don't do that, please.
Okay. Nick's
Why is
computer
that
just
button there?
explodes. I might have to whip something up like this for Planescape when I run it, so I have all the characters on one sheet like this, just the most relevant stats. Just
Yeah,
for my reference.
It's a good little spreadsheet. But I mean, I imagine it would be difficult with D&D because those characters are so much more complicated than Apocalypse World.
They are, but I mean, there's a lot of shorthand tricks that I use. I mean, I usually what I had is instead of just having all the character sheets open in different tabs, I would have little stat blocks set aside in a notepad that I just referenced.
I gotcha.
Most of the stuff on the D&D character sheet doesn't matter most of the time. I need to refresh my drink, gentlemen. I shall return while Nick is diving into the book.
Oh, okay. So it actually is on a case-by-case basis according to the playbook. So Battlebabe and NPC, no mechanical effect. Driver, I imagine there will be no mechanical effect because NPCs don't have history.
Got it.
Oh, actually, no. That it does specifically say the move applies if the driver and NPC have sex, but a 7 to 9 just counts as a 10. So, okay. Yeah, because the 7 to 9 is the history stuff. So on a 10 to 7, it's cool, no big deal with an NPC. But on a miss, which is 6 or lower, you're going to take -1 ongoing until you prove it's not like they own you or nothing.
Got it.
And for the Hocus, what is Hocus? No mechanical effect for NPC sex.
Yep.
which is probably like for crazy NPC sex cult. That's probably a wise decision.
Yeah.
This card name generator is not great.
Well, that's what you got. So you either choose a name yourself or you choose something from that.
No, the card's name is Lance. I've decided.
Okay, that works.
Because that sounds hilarious to me.
Do you know what else is not great? Tabletop Simulator stalling out on loading this mod. Did it actually load for anyone?
Wait, what are you trying to load?
I don't know. It just says loading mod. I assumed that there was an Apocalypse World mod that you were
no,
dumping on us.
I haven't loaded anything in a while.
I haven't
looked at tabletop in a while. The stream has just been a static image for like the past hour and a half.
Yeah, sorry about that stream, but that's always going to happen during character creation because like, nothing happens during character creation except us talking about our dudes.
That's all right. That's all right.
Okay.
Brick, I have named my car Lance.
Lance?
Yeah.
All right.
Let's see here. I'm looking up some stuff.
How old is this game? Do you know when this was published, Nick?
This was published in 2013, I think.
Oh, okay, so it's fairly new still.
Yeah.
We used to play a lot of little indie RPGs like this for years and years. Then we all grew up and got jobs and wives and stuff. And now we just play boring old D&D. One of the games I own, but I've only played once or twice, is I have the Serenity RPG. Mm-hmm. That's pretty fun. I mean, usually we buy a licensed RPG like that, and it's only barely good, if it is at all. But the Serenity one was pretty fun. It had a damage table for being sucked out into space. It just says, just roll all the dice. All the dice on the table, just pick them up and drop them. That's how much damage you take if you get sucked out of a spaceship. And the original D20 version of Game of Thrones was also an excellent licensed RPG, which I only played once or twice. Pokey wants to know if your car is named Lance Vance.
Lance. No, it's just Lance Vance.
Just Lance.
Lance Vance.
God, that guy was hard to kill. I was stuck on that fight for like an hour. It was embarrassing. I was a young streamer then. That was before I knew I could just take out my frustrations on my chat. So.
Alright, so now that we've done character creation, we're going to do a short play session.
Okay.
Where what we're going to do is just follow the character around for a day. And during this time, we're going to establish all sorts of things, like where do you live, what's it like, who do you know, who do you hate, stuff like that. And that's going to be, and by the end of this time, we're going to have a bunch of named NPCs. Every NPC in this game is a threat. Like, so the way that this game works is there are several fronts. Fronts are kind of like a theater of badness, and they all have different threats associated with a certain front. So, like, one front might be a rival holding, and you know the threats might be the holder himself, his gangs, his allies, etc., etc. Or a front might be like just the concept of disease in general. Threats associated with that might be the people who are diseased, the disease itself, the scarcity of resources the disease brings with it, and so on and so forth. Home is also a front. It's called the home front, and all the NPCs that you have and you think of as allies are actually enemies, or they're not enemies, but they're threats on the home front. Because nobody is ever happy in Apocalypse World. They always want something, and they might want it of you, and they might want it of you so bad that they're willing to do extreme things to get it. even if you think they're your friends. So we're going to go through and kind of more or less establish the home front and possibly other fronts lurking around.
So, quick question though.
Mhm.
Are the PCs automatically threats to each other?
Not automatically.
Okay.
Like it says specifically in the rules, your PCs should not be not necessarily friends, but they're not enemies. They know each other, but right now, I mean, it might progress in the game that you guys want something from each other, and you are willing to resort to force to use it. That's not the case at the start.
Okay.
And you're never going to be counted as threats on the home front.
All right, sounds good.
Okay.
Is our home front shared, or is it these are individual home fronts for each of us?
It's shared.
It is shared. Okay.
So right now you're at home, and these
Got
are things that are going to be a problem from within. Everything else is a threat from without. So like, I don't know, your car might be a threat on the home front because that thing's always breaking down. You never know when that thing is going to give up the ghost on you when you need it most. Or the Voice's followers are a threat on the home front, even though they're his follower or its followers, because you never know when they're going to need more than you can give from them, or when they might need something else that you don't have. Things like that. I'm not going to say specifically mechanically, oh yes, your car is a threat on the home front, but that's the kind of thing that I mean when I say home front threats, is stuff that should be going right most of the time, but will sometimes go wrong.
Got it.
You can't ever count on anything.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so it's Apocalypse World. Let's start with Domino. Domino, it's the start of a new day for you.
Okay.
What were you doing last night?
What was I doing last night?
Yep.
Did I have a job last night? Was I working?
I'm asking you, what did you do last night?
Then I was working, and Tao had a couple of 12-year-olds that needed to be shot, and I took care of
All right.
that.
Why do you need them to be shot? Did he explain anything? Does he ever
It
explain
doesn't
anything?
explain. I just get money. I just get a paycheck. It goes into the account.
Okay. What were their names?
Let's see here. Warp and Roth.
Okay.
I got
War
those
and
off
Roth,
of
you
the
said?
drug name generator from fantasynamegenerator.com. I need to make a generous donation to this website, because this website has bailed my ass out
Yeah.
over and
it's a
over
great
again.
website. All right. So these 12-year-olds you killed, anyone miss them? Or rather, did it seem to you like anyone missed them?
My assumption is that they were gangbangers of some kind. My assumption was
Okay.
they were low-level workers for Tao, and they were cheating him or skimming off the top.
Okay.
I didn't look into it deeper than that. I identified the targets, found a good position, took them out.
So that's what happened last night. This morning, on the first day that we're actually playing,
Okay.
you get a knock on your door. And it's not really a knock, it's more like banging. It's more like a loud banging. Loud, insistent banging.
Look through the people. Who's out there?
What do you do? You don't know this person. You've never seen them before in your life. But they are armed.
Armed how?
They got a bat. It's got some nails on it. They don't seem to be too shy about it. And like they're not carrying behind their back anything.
How many? One dude?
One dude.
Okay. Arm myself with my size.
Okay. Which you always have because they're infinite.
They're infinite.
And what do you do? Now that you looked at the people, what do you do?
Slide the chain off the door so it's not locked.
Okay.
Let go of the handle. Hold my sai at the ready. Wait for him to open it.
He's not going to open it. He's banging.
He's banging, but he's not going to try the knob.
No. He is shouting, "Open up."
What is the like authority? Like, is there a police force, or is Tao the police? Like, is it just
There's no police.
There's
no police.
Nothing like that.
There's Tao has you know, Tao's got his gang, but he doesn't. I mean, that's a valuable gang. He's not going to expend that on just keeping the peace, quote unquote.
Is this fool wearing like loose clothing, something I can grab easily?
This fool is wearing. Yeah, it's loose-ish.
Okay. The move is going to be to jerk the door open and try to disarm him. I'm going to do that by grabbing some loose clothing and jerking him off his feet into the apartment so he drops his bed.
So this sounds like you're taking him by force.
Yes.
Okay.
Very much.
And now, if you do it, and roll it.
That's a 9.
Okay, so on a 7 to 9, on the... Now I gotta look up this thing again.
Because you're supposed to use hard on a roll like that, but I've taken ice cold.
Yeah, understood.
So I roll plus cool.
So on a 7 to 9, you get something, but I get something too. And I'm having to look it up. Okay, seize by force. On a 7 to 9, you choose 2 from the list. You take definite hold of it meaning him in this case, or at least his shirt. You suffer little harm, you inflict terrible harm, or you impress, dismay, or frighten your enemy. And I'm saying because you've both got your weapons out, he's got his bat, you've got your size, this is seizing by force. You are both going to hurt each other unless you choose that he doesn't hurt you, or you hurt him seriously.
Where do I look at this, the rules, when it says choose 2?
This is on page 33?
33.
Page 33 by the PDF. Yeah. Seize by force.
So I choose 2 of these, yes?
Yep. On a 7 to 9, you choose 2.
Then I choose I suffer little harm.
Okay.
And I impress, dismay, or frighten my enemy.
Okay. So you've got your psi, and that's a spiked psi, right? So it's +1 harm?
Yes.
If I'm remembering right?
Yeah, spiked, 2 harm.
Yeah, so you deal 2 harm to this guy. And then when what happens, I mean, you reach out, and you've got his thing, and you've got your side. It's stuck in his gut, essentially.
Oh, nice.
But you haven't taken definite hold of him. You've definitely frightened him. So he runs off. The size, you know, it's with him. It's still stuck in his gut as he runs off. So it's like, what the? I just wanted to talk to you, and he's gone.
He runs off.
Yeah, size stuck in his gut, blood's trailing down the hallway.
That's all right.
But he's gone.
Huh? I've got more. I've got infinite size.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. You've got more.
Then I watch him go. I close the door, put the chain back, and feed my cat.
Okay. Let's see. Give me 1 second here. I'm having to juggle a few things. Sorry if I'm saying too much. All right. The voice. You are doing the things you do in the morning, eating your breakfast. There's a few of your cult followers around. They're all breakfasting with you. And one of your dudes, one of your cult members, runs up to you, and he's got this psi stuck in him, and he's bleeding out. This guy is gonna die right now unless you do something. What do you do?
Oh shit! All right. Well,
Bear it back.
I'm not a medic, but I'm gonna have to pull that out of him. Try and pull that out and then cover up the wound so that he doesn't die right away.
Okay. There are healing moves, I think. Harm and healing.
Yeah, there are healing moves in there. Let me take a look at
When you
that.
try to heal him with a person's harm.
This move is a new. Yeah, when you suffer harm. Let's see here. When you heal another player character's harm.
So what are you doing? What are you doing? I mean, because you're not an angel. You don't have the kind of extensive healing equipment that an angel would have. You've got what you've got on you, and what you've got on you is your gear.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like what I've got to do is I mean, pretty much what I said. Try and pull that out of there, and then put a tourniquet or something on him so that he doesn't bleed out right away. I mean, I want to at least hear what he has to say.
You pull this thing out, and blood gushes from the wound. Like the kid's skin is white. He doesn't look good at all. And what do you say to him?
What happened? Tell me what's going on.
As you're applying the tourniquet. And what he says to you is, I just went to find out what happened to Orrin Roth. You remember? And you do remember. For reasons that you don't clearly understand, 2 of your cult members were shot last night. I was trying to find out why they died. Someone told me that the Domino lady killed him. And I was trying to find out why. And she just stabbed me out of nowhere. I didn't do nothing.
Oh man, that's totally messed up.
He coughs. He coughs a little bit. He's coughing up blood at this point.
Okay. Well, crap. This dude's probably gonna die. I don't really have the skill to be able to heal him, and I imagine that none of the people sitting with me do either.
Your tourniquet's definitely, or whatever you're using as a tourniquet, that's definitely soaked through with blood at this point.
Yeah, it's definitely soaked through. Let's see here. Oh. All right, well, I mean, I'm going to have to tell the people sitting with me to take care of this guy, and I'm going to have to, I imagine that the voice is going to have to go off and find out what's going on with this Domino person.
Okay.
All
right. So what do you do?
Also really quick, do we need to, it says at the start of our first session I'm supposed to roll some stuff for my followers?
Yeah, go ahead and roll your fortune. Sorry, I forgot about that.
Yeah, let me go ahead and do that right now.
So what the Hocus has is a move called Fortune, which is at the start of each session they determine how well off the followers are.
Let's see here. I rolled a 10 plus fortune, and I've got +1 on my fortune. So I rolled an 11, so followers have surplus.
Okay, sounds good. Does it say surplus in what, or does it not specify?
It says that their surplus is... It sounds like their surplus is... It just says surplus. It sounds like their surplus is 1. Is 1 barter?
Looking this up right now. So the fortune... well, no. It's the surplus of what you listed.
Oh, okay.
So you've got a surplus of augury and party, so you can choose +1 to one of those things because those are their surpluses.
Okay, I'm going to take augury plus. Going to take augury +1 then.
Okay. And yeah, and you got a 10. You got a clean hit, so you don't have to choose one want.
Nope. All right. It seems like that sounds pretty good then.
All right, now back to where we were. What do you do? What are you doing right now?
Well, I'm gonna follow that trail of blood. I imagine that people know where Domino is. Like, she's somebody that you can find.
Oh yeah, it says explicitly on the history that everyone knows Domino.
Yeah. All right. Well, so I'm gonna have to go there, and I'm gonna try and do the same thing that my buddy here did. Whether that's wise or not, it sounds like it's not particularly smart, but whatever.
Domino, it's about half an hour later. What are you still there?
Half an hour later makes it what time of day?
Well, you just woke up to somebody. It's about, let's say, 8:30 in the morning when someone was banging at your door. Now it's 9.
Yeah, I'll be there.
Okay.
When Tao wants me, he sends for me. I don't need to go out and.
Gotcha. So you hear a softer knocking at your door this time.
Look through the peephole. Who is it? Or what is it? Should I ask?
It's the voice. You know the voice. I mean, you don't,
yes.
not like personally, but you know who this is. You've seen this person around.
And I've done extensive digging into his pasts, because I don't trust him.
Right.
Would Domino consider the
maybe
voice to be dangerous? Like, do its followers get up to any violence or anything like that?
That's a good question. I can't really tell you what Domino thinks.
Well, I'm asking the voice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think that the followers are encouraged to not be violent, but I mean, in the middle of a big-ass party that involves 20-ish people, I'm sure that someone gets hurt. So, maybe not explicitly dangerous, but there have been accidents.
Okay. Open the door to the length of the chain, holding the sigh in full view.
So the chain's still on, you said?
I put the chain back on after he left, yeah.
Okay.
After he ran off.
Okay,
All right.
Well, I'm going to demand that the door be opened and I be lit in and told exactly what happened here. And that's seduce or manipulate, I think it would be.
Oh, all right.
Let's see here. Tell them what you want and roll.
So
plus
it sounds
hot, except for I get to roll.
It sounds to me like that was the demand you were making before the door was opened.
Well, the door isn't open yet. It's
right. That's what I'm saying. So the door has not been opened yet. You're making your demand, and you're using.
I'm making my demand. Yeah, that I be lit in.
All right.
Let's see here. Let me get Tabletop Simulator back up. So this is roll plus weird for me. So I get to mark XP, and it's a 10.
Oh wow. Let's see. So when you are. So if it's a PC.
Oh, tell them what you want.
Yeah, tell them what you want.
Okay. I want to be lit in and told what happened to my follower who was stabbed. Why you stabbed him.
Domino, since they rolled a 10, if you do it, then you get to mark an improvement. If you refuse, you are refusing to do this under fire.
What does under fire mean?
Oh, that's a...
means you're acting under fire. That's a move.
Okay. Let me read that.
Let's see.
To do something under fire.
Oh, so for player characters, let's see here, both.
So I get to mark an advancement either way.
Yeah, okay, whether or not I keep my I have to promise them something.
Yes.
Let's see here. Yeah, so you need to ask me. Wait.
Right.
Yeah,
so
you need to ask me to promise something.
Yeah.
In exchange for this.
All right, I tell him I'll let him in and explain the situation as long as he comes in unarmed.
I'm never armed, so you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, open the chain. Open the
All right.
Don't tell him not to touch anything.
And I'm gonna mark XP for using weird there.
Now, when I marked my 1 of 5 XP, it thought it was a date and said January 5th, 2015.
That's exactly what happens to me as well.
That's ridiculous.
So I'm at 2 of 5 now.
What I would do, just put 2 stars in there. Two asterisks.
It's a drop-down menu. Oh yeah, I can just. There we go.
That's just you.
That works better.
It's just 2 marks.
Good old stars.
Yep.
Yeah,
okay.
Invite him in. Look out in the hallway, make sure he wasn't followed.
So you have not actually explained yourself yet. You haven't really given in to the demand.
Not yet, but I will.
Okay.
No, and homeboy came up to the door, armed with a bat with nails in it, and started banging on it. I took him as a threat. Big scary guy like him, scrawny little woman like me. I was in fear for my life.
I seriously doubt that. He said that you killed 2 of my followers, Hour and Roth. Why did you kill them?
Do I have to answer truthfully?
I don't think you have to. I'm not compelling you to.
Okay.
No. No, the voice demanded an explanation. You've given one.
Is it public knowledge that Tao takes out hits like this? Like, he's a warlord, yes? So it's everybody knows he's a bad and violent dude. Then I tell him if he has a problem, he needs to take it up with Tao.
Okay.
I just lift the gun. He points the finger.
All right. That's very interesting. Thank you for your help. And the voice leaves peacefully.
Okay.
And then he just like floats out the window.
Well, I mean, maybe he does. Like, he's got some weird ass psychic powers going on here. The voice could maybe float.
That'd be pretty weird.
All right, Cam.
Yes.
You also are awoken by a not gentle, but it's not the banging that Domino experienced. There's a rap at your door. It's morning.
Okay. Very groggily, sort of rubbing his eye with his palm. Doesn't bother looking to the people or anything, he just opens the door.
So you just open the door.
Yeah.
All right. It's Tao and two men.
I give a nod. Little slight little grunt of acknowledgement.
And Tao says, "Morning, Cam."
I walk out of the way of the doorway to sort of gesture them in. Maybe
He
comes off
doesn't-
as a little awkwardly.
He doesn't enter. He says, "You awake?"
Sort of.
Sort of. You awake enough to drive? That's my question.
Always.
Good answer.
Where are we
And
off
he-
to?
And he motions to the two men who are standing next to him. He says, "I need you to get these two fellas out to the other side of Bar's territory. They got business there."
I sort of look them up and down. How dirty are they?
Well, let's see. One of them is super dirty. He's unwashed. I mean, he's got a layer of grime on him. The other one's pretty clean.
Cam inhales a little bit as he looks the dirty guy up and down. He's like, "I have a shower if you would like to use one."
And the man grunts, says, "Just gonna dirty myself up later anyway."
I sort of look at Tao like, "Really?"
And Tao, he looks directly in your eyes and said, "Didn't come here to negotiate, Cam. Came here with a job for you. These men need to be past that territory, and time's a wasting."
Let me grab my keys. Grab my keys, lock the apartment, go down to my car.
Okay. The two men follow you?
Yeah.
All right. So you're just agreeing to do whatever they ask.
Yep, as he is wont to do.
All right then. Let's see. So they pile in your car. You're kind of upset about one of them who's like
I'm stealing glances at him the whole time. Like,
yeah, he's got an arm up against the window. He's rolled down.
Thinking about how I have to wash or clean the carpets at least, and then
Yeah.
maybe shampoo them at some point. And... oh man! It's
Now,
really
Bar's
unfortunate.
territory is a place you know that you're not supposed to be.
Bar, like BAR.
Right.
Okay.
You've had trouble going through here before.
What kind of trouble?
Like people shooting at you, trouble. Like people trying to take your car, kind of trouble.
Oh, those assholes. Okay.
So what do you do? Because these guys, you've been told to take them to the other side, and you've been told that time's a waste. Bar's territory is not infinite. You have probably enough gas to bypass it, but you're not sure that you can get there on time if you don't go right through.
Well, I gotta save. I don't want to expend more gas than I have to, so I basically is when I know that I'm entering his territory, I floor it to go straight and as fast through as humanly possible.
So it sounds like you're making a move under fire, because there's definitely a threat.
Sure.
right now. Even if you don't see the rifles trained on you, you're pretty sure that they're there.
Yeah.
So go ahead and roll that.
All right. I'm in my car, so I can add its power. Dice still not rolling. So frustrating, tabletop sim.
That's okay. Steve is simulating the dice noises.
Thanks. Do I add any stat to that? If I do, what's that?
That's a plus cool.
Plus cool.
Yeah. Do you still get to add your car stuff to that?
Yeah. So 8.
Okay, so an 8. All right.
That's a highlighted stat though, so I get an XP.
Yeah.
So.
On a 7 to 9, let's see. So you rolled an 8. All right. You're flooring it. I mean, you're going through Bar's territory as fast as you possibly can because you know from past experience that badness awaits you here.
Right.
And it's no different this time. There's a you hear shots ring out. A couple of them ping off your car. And one of them, I mean, what? Tell me a little bit about your car. Let me look that up again.
It's a old vintage metallic thing.
Okay, so
Black,
it's strength,
black
it's fast, and
metallic
it's aggressive.
Yeah.
It says, all right. One of them goes right through the window that this fool was dumb enough to roll down and keep rolled down on a jaunt through rival warlord territory, and it hits him, and he's hit. And right now, I mean, it's bad. You have got to either, I mean, this guy, he's hurt pretty bad. He needs medical attention. He might live, but if he's gonna live, you can't go herring off to some God knows what rendezvous, who knows where. You need to get him to medical attention. So, I mean, it's up to you whether you want to keep the rendezvous that Tao told you to, or if you want to turn back and get this guy to a doctor.
Bleeding profusely, right?
Bleeding profusely on your car.
Yeah, that was exactly my thought process.
Yeah.
Cam would do whatever would be fastest at this point to prevent. If it's to get him to his point, then he does that. If it's faster to get him medical attention, then he does that for the explicit purpose that he stops bleeding in his car.
Okay, so you want this kid out of your car, whether it's alive or dead. Doesn't matter to you as long as he's not bleeding in your car anymore.
Exactly.
Is that what I'm understanding?
That is exactly it.
Okay. In that case,
and I sort of on the way to whichever path it is, Cam curses him out a little bit, like, "Oh my God, stop bleeding in my fucking car! How could you leave the window down? What is wrong with you?"
And the kid he's just groaning. He doesn't really care that you're chewing him out because he's got this terrible, painful, life-threatening bullet wound in him right now. And you charge on through it because you figure, to make the UE would be you just expose yourself to further fire. You're less of a moving target while you're making the J turn.
So past the point of no return.
Yeah, you're past the point of no return.
Okay.
You charge on through.
Got it.
All right, let's go back to Domino.
Yes, sir.
What are you up to?
Spend time walking around the encampment.
Okay.
Keeping my ear to the ground, observing.
All right. You see a few of the Hocus people who give you the stink eye, but they don't do anything to you.
If they know what's good for them.
Yeah. Let's see. So what's your business? What are you on about doing?
Find breakfast somewhere.
Okay. So you weren't having any in your apartment?
No, there's nothing in there except a cat bowl and a cat.
Where do you prefer to have breakfast? Do you go to like an establishment? Do you go and try to secure your own food that you can go eat at your home? Is there anyone you like to have breakfast with?
I have a regular cafe in town that I'm on friendly first name basis with.
All right. What's the cafe called?
What's the cafe called? I've been browsing the fantasy name generator this whole time, and I landed on the spell name generator. So the cafe is called Absolve.
Absolve. Nice.
Nice.
Like this, like I'm picturing like some kind of new agey Gordon Ramsay place.
Right. It's not even called the Absolve Cafe. It's just called Absolve.
Absolve.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
See,
I go into this establishment. I figure this person is somebody who's like streetwise, somebody that I use as an informant from time to time.
Okay. And that's gonna be Karna. That's your informant, your contact Karna.
Karna. Okay.
She's in her late 30s. She's kind of an intimidating older woman, rugged face. She's got a shaved head. And she's sitting there waiting for you.
Walk in, have a bran muffin and a glass of OJ.
All right. And once your order's placed, Karna says to you, "You do know what you've done, right?"
How does she say it? What's her demeanor?
She says exactly like I said it. She
like,
seems upset with you.
Upset, concerned.
Yeah.
And I say, no, what?
And Karna says, "Well, you know the crazies that are passing through, right?
I know them all
passing
too
through,
well,
I say.
yes.
Yeah. Well, you've done it to piss them off, and they weren't making any trouble for anyone before, but now I'm here and they're going to be trouble." What were you thinking? What are you and Tao up to? Why are you trying to rile them?
I look a little bit like are you shitting me? Have you met these people? I tell them.
Oh, and she says, "Oh, I've met him. I've met him, and I stay steer clear, and you should have too."
I've done some checking into their leader, their cult master, this bag of laundry that calls himself the Voice. Says there's a threat. Tao and I can handle it. We know who the muscle is in this burg.
And that's what you were doing last night, she says, handling it.
Has she ever taken any of my past jobs personally that she's caught wind of?
No, and she doesn't seem to be taking this one personally either.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that I'd guess she seems upset for her own security.
Okay.
She's not upset that you've crossed any line. She doesn't care that kids are 12. She cares that you have set something in motion.
Do I have the ability to put eyes on her cafe to make sure that if anything goes down, word get back up the chain real quick? Like if I spread some jingle around to the right people, get people in a building across the street to stake out the place, make sure nothing goes down.
Okay. So you want to hire somebody? Is what you're saying?
Yeah, I tell her I'll smooth it over to make sure. I tell her nothing's going to come down from these freaks. They're going to pass through town the way these types do, and when they're gone, we'll forget about them. But because I value her brand muffins so much, I will smooth things over. I'll make sure none of it lands on her.
Okay.
And that's my intention, is to go out and find some people who I trust reasonably to keep eyes on the place for her.
Okay. All right, so you're gonna go out, and it sounds like, and it sounds like you're willing to spend some money to do this.
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay, so are you looking for a dude who you don't care if stands out? Are you looking for someone to keep an eye out covertly, or are you looking out for somebody who, if someone comes around, they will see, oh, this is more trouble than it's worth?
I'm looking for somebody, I'm not going to set up a sniper nest up there. I'm looking for somebody who, if something's about to go down, they can raise an alarm quickly. Word can get back to either me or Tao or one of Tao's enforcers that this place, Absolve, is under protection for the duration of Freakazoid's stay in town.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I've decided I'm going to call the Voice. I'm going to call it Freakazoid.
All right, so it doesn't sound like you're too picky.
Not really.
Yeah, there's you leave the cafe. There's There's a kid sitting on the stoop. You say, hey, want to make some money? Kid seems interested.
Okay.
What are you promising him? And what is your demand?
The
Because
demand.
this is clearly an influence type of situation.
Then I point out across the street of the Azalv, a burned out building where you'd have a good view of the whole street coming up and down.
Mm-hmm.
The demand is that he watch the place and report on the comings and goings of any of the, what's the name of the Voices cult?
I don't know if it has a name, but it should.
It doesn't have a name yet. I need to come up with one.
Yeah.
Okay, well I still have the, okay, hold on, I still have the spell name generator here. How about Severiato? That's from the Harry Potter spell name generator.
That sounds a little too violent for what these guys are normally like.
Yeah, the demand is to keep eyes on the place. Report the comings and goings of... Like, I'll hook up with him again tomorrow, report the comings and goings of any of these cultists. If something looks like it's about to go down, if anything violent happens, get word back to me quickly, and I will leave instructions with him on how to do that, where I'll be, how to find me. What I'm promising him monetarily, because I'm going to try to manipulate this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to try to...
this is very obviously manipulation.
I'm going to promise him a little bit less coin than this kind of job would be worth, but I tell him if he performs up beyond expectations, I'll make it worth his while. And I'm going to leave it at that.
All right. Also, for the record, thanks to Fantasy Name Generator, they're now the Cult of Boroloth.
Boroloth?
Boroloth.
How do you spell that?
Bolorth. I put it on the sheet.
The Cult of Boroloth. All right, gotcha.
Which generator did you get that from?
Magic school names.
Nice. And I'll leave it up to his imagination what he expects. I'll make it worth your while to be there, whether he needs favors from Tao's organization or whether he needs a blowy behind the Absolve later.
Make your roll. Make your roll.
Okay,
That's hot.
Is that a plus hots?
Yes. Unless you haven't moved the changes, but I don't think you do.
I don't. Oh, 5.
This is not even a 7 to 9.
No.
This kid does not seem convinced. And he's saying, well, for what you're paying me, it sounds like I could get more if I went to the Voice. Said I'd report on you. How's that sound?
Is he a cultist?
No, he's not a cultist.
I ask him if he's looking to join up.
Kid says, what's it to you?
I see you don't seem to be missing any body parts. I tell him there's two ways to change that in this bird. You can join the cult, lose them that way, or you can defy Tao and he'll take them off.
Kid scoffs, defy Tao? I'm defying you. That ain't the same thing.
Oh, should I stab this kid in the street? That's probably a bad idea. Does he have any backup?
You or him?
Him. I don't have any backup, no.
Him? No, he's just a kid sitting on a stoop. He doesn't care about you at all.
When you say kid, are we talking like 12, 13, or are we talking like 18, 19?
He's a mid-teenager, talking about like 15, 16.
Okay.
This kid is a... He's like soot blackened. He's missing a couple teeth. I mean, he's not like a little waif or anything.
Like a Dickensian street urchin.
Yeah. No, this kid is like probably in a gang. Like just sizing him up. You don't know for sure, but you know he's no innocent. He's just some kid.
Okay. Then I won't pay him for anything if he's gonna turn me down and disrespect me. Go find somebody else.
Okay.
I've had enough of this kid. Is there anybody who owes me a favor?
Not that I know of.
Hold on, I'm checking the rules here. I'm going to read the situation, which is a plus sharp, right?
Yeah. Well, it's not. Well, what? When you read a charge situation.
Oh.
So, how would you describe this situation? You know, you kind of looking around a street as charged.
As charged?
Yeah.
I don't think I would. I didn't know the word. I don't know what a charged situation means in this game.
Yeah. So read a charge situation is you get like on a hit you get to ask one of these or several of these questions. You know, like where's my best escape route? What enemy is most vulnerable to me? What's the biggest threat? What should I be on the lookout for? What's my enemy's true position? Who's in control here? I don't really see how any of these would be applicable to a situation like this. So I don't think that read a sitch is a valid move here.
Let's read a person then.
Okay. Who are you reading?
Somebody owes me a favor, but it's somebody I haven't worked with very often. We haven't built up much of a rapport.
Okay.
I did a little something on the side for them, so they owe me a favor, but it's not a big favor, and I'm not exactly in the mood to be cashing in favors if I don't have to, but it looks like I have to.
It's looking that way.
So
you're going to go see your friend Winkle.
Winkle?
Yep.
I hate that I know somebody named Winkle. Is he a
Domino and
fairy
Winkle.
elf of some kind? Does he have
She is
pointy ears and live under a bed?
shivering, cocky woman who looks like she's about to fall apart, has a ponytail, and stinks of alcohol.
I can think of like 8 reasons why I hesitate to talk to Winkle. Like she's my last resort.
Winkle's no good. Winkle owes you a favor, that's for sure. But there's the reason Winkle owes you a favor, and that's because Winkle can't do anything for herself.
Okay. Then yeah, we'll use read a person on Winkle.
Okay.
And how do I get her to take on this job to watch the Absolve without having to cash in this favor?
Have you rolled yet? Because you don't have a
haven't.
hold to spend on a question.
No, but that's the question I'm going to ask. So
Okay.
That is a
Now you're rolling sharp.
sharp, which is a +1, I believe. So that's an 8.
Okay, you get one question from the list,
And that's the question.
and that's
How do I
So
get
how
her
do
to
you-
take on this job without formally calling in this favor, so I can keep that for a rainy day?
okay. Give me 1 second here.
Nick must consult the Book of Winkle.